we want to get the total number, the sum of the funding that they have, that all these companies have. So let's go to new measure and let's say funding or total funding. Choose what it is. So let's say sum of what? Funding. Now you will understand, you will see this error and you will understand why there is an error by the time we have walked through it together. So we're just going to, push this in here. Let us come and get our total funding in here. And can you see? And do you know why this is happening? Because of the way our data is. We need to do some formatting. Okay, so now in order to do that, let us go to transform data so we can see why this thing is not going to calculate. We wanted to get the total funding, right? Let us go to funding and see, look at the way our funding is written. This is written in text. So can you sum up text? Definitely no. So that is why that thing came up like that. And if you say, for example, okay, I want to duplicate this and then change the type to a whole number, you would see what happens. Error. Okay, so we need to be really tactical when dealing with errors like this. Okay, so first thing, let us just go remove this and remove the duplicated column. Now we are going to get a custom column, and in this custom column we are going to put a formula on what we want Power BI to do for us. Okay, so what we'll do now is to come to add column here, and in add column we're just going to go to custom column, and now we want to write a code telling this thing that, in fact, let me remove this. Now we want to write a code telling Power BI that when they see billion, we are going to give it the literal meaning of billions, which means we're going to give it eight zeros. We're going to give it the amount of zeros that signifies that it is billion. And once it is million, we're going to give it the amount of zeros that signify that it is million. And we are literally trying to tell Power BI that it should take the number from this text, because this is a text, right? And we should take the number from the text. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Now let's go to our custom column. And now we're going to write M language, because anything we're writing here is called M language. Okay, so we're just going to write the new funding so that we can differentiate it. And here what we want to say is, if we're going to say equals to if text dot contains our funding, so if this thing contains text and the text in it would have B, right? So signifying the billion, then number dot from text. So number from text, we're going to replace it with text dot replace. So we're going to replace the number from text we're replacing it from B and we're timesing it by 1. We're going to times it the number of times that will give us a billion. So this is what? 1, 2. So 1 more 0. And now we have a billion. So what we are basically saying is if our funding contains any text and we're putting the B there, which is signifying billion, then we want the number from this text. We want to replace it with this. We are replacing the number from text in the funding, that is in this our funding column. We're replacing it with this multiplication that we're doing. So in situations where we'll have 8 billion, 8 and that B, it's now going to be 8 times 1 billion. So it is going to give us 8 billion. Do you understand? So we're just basically calling the number from the text and we're trying to replace that text with this particular calculation that we have just done, which is times 1 billion for any value that it is. But we cannot stop here because we also have million in our data, right? So we also have to do this particular thing for million as well. So what we will just do is to copy it and come here. Paste it. Now we're going to use else if. Else if this is this and it contains the M, which is million, then the number from text, we want to replace it in this funding column, the M as well, and we're replacing it with what? 1 million now, not 1 billion. So we have to look at this thing and make sure it is a million. Okay, so now it is 1 million. Okay, so else null. And now we're going to hit enter and we're going to see our new funding amount. So as you can see funding, this is 8 billion and this is 8 billion showing here. Let's count that properly. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this is 8 billion. So let's look at the 1,572 and this is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is right. Now what we're going to do now is to change this data type to what? To whole number. Great. So this is what we have right now. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do is to do this for valuation as well. All right, so let's look at valuation. You can see our valuation is the same way, so we're just going to move over and do the same thing for valuation. So let us just come here and copy it so we don't have to go through all the writings again. So Ctrl C, and then I'm going to come to another custom column and I'm going to write what? New valuation, since we have done new funding. And for new valuation, I'm just going to paste in that code and I'll change this to valuation and just, replace, edit everything the way it's supposed to be. Valuation as well. Okay, so this is what we need and I'm just going to hit OK. So now we have our new valuation. We're just going to come here and change the type to whole number. Great, and this is what we have. Okay, so we don't necessarily have to do anything with these two right now. We're also going to have to come back here to change the year founded. Okay, to change the year founded and the date joined. We might not necessarily need to change the year founded because we might not have anything to do with it, but we want to see when the companies joined the unicorn companies. So let us head back. We're going to go to home, close and apply. And then we're going to come here, remove this, go back to total funding that we wrote. And now we can see that we have to get the sum for what? The new funding and no longer the normal funding. Okay, so we're going to hit enter. So let's impute all of this. We're coming to the total funding now. We're just going to push this in here, and you can see our total funding is 592 billion. So we have to format this using the $sign. So let's, reduce this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project and you learned one or two things. So do not forget to hit the subscribe button, to like, share this video, comment on what you would want to see next, and I'll do my best to do that for you. All right. And I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.